What's up, guys? Jamie and I are back with more Heroclix to unbox. It's been a while since our last Heroclix unboxing, huh?
A little bit.
A little bit, yes. Today we're doing Superman, Wonder Woman. Like always, I'm going to have Jamie be the expert here. I'll just be here to move things along. Jamie, are these available yet? When are they available?
Not yet. These are coming out in November, but Wiz Kids is doing a very cool first-time ever event where they are hosting a pre-release 2 weeks ahead of the set's release. So that's this weekend. Local stores can hold it as early as the 21st, and that runs through the 25th, Sunday.
Sweet, just don't play in Nashville because Jamie will show up and he'll already have all these. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so is there anything else we should tell everybody before we just jump in and unbox these?
Well, you'll notice that we've got a couple boosters here. The Burt came with 8 of these regular size boosters, but then we also have the Colossal Super Booster here. Inside, we're going to get one of at least 6 different Colossal figures, and those figures are going to factor actually into the pre-release event in a way I'll explain when we find out what's inside ours here. So that's pretty cool. It
There's
could be anything
sweet
from
Batman, Superman figure.
Superman, Batman robot. There's Brimstone and Titano. All kinds of cool stuff could be in there.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's just dive in.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so we got them all unboxed. We got this whole Superman, Wonder Woman out here on the table. At least the figures that we got, not the whole line.
Right.
So first thing, obviously, that jumps out is some of these sculpts. Some of these uncommon sculpts are really awesome.
Right. I love the magic effects on the new Cersei here. Throw this in here, just all that arcane energy running off of her. And then we've got, he's not an uncommon, but I did pull a prime, pull the rare prime.
That one's sweet.
Here you see Superman Red. I'm showing him here. He's already been officially previewed, so we're not going to go into detail.
Okay.
But I just wanted to show you that the actual sculpt is just as cool as the digital sculpt they showed with all that shiny, translucent red plastic. He is an energy being.
Yeah, that's straight out of a comic book page.
Yep.
So we have a few you wanted to go over here.
Right. So we opened up our Super Booster, and we pulled the imposing War Wheel here. So, as I said, these Colossal characters are going to factor into the pre-release event, because the pre-release event is a sealed draft. The recommended format is a draft, and then you open up one of these boxes and place whatever's inside in the center of the table where people are playing. And there's an optional rule where each of these figures has a Colossal retaliation power. And so the way the rule works is that anytime a player scores a critical hit on another player, that player on their next turn can freely activate the Colossal retaliation power on one of these Colossal figures to hit their opponent back. So that's really cool. So I just want to talk about this guy's Colossal retaliation power, which is Crush with Giant Spikes. And what it lets you do is if your opponent scores a critical hit, you'll be able to place War Wheel in any 4 squares on the map that the column or row also contains the character that critical hit you. And then you can move him across to another 4 squares and basically rolling over everybody in his path. And you get to roll an attack to do 2 penetrating damage to everybody that crossed that line. So let me show you this. Give you a peek at this card right here. It's kind of a long-winded power. But so you get the idea. So yeah, imagine that's super cool. Somebody hits you and go, okay, well, I'm going to call in a War Wheel and just have him roll over you as payback.
Yeah, that sculpt itself is just
the sculpt
awesome.
is great. All of the sculpts that we've seen the Superman Batman one elsewhere.
I just want to put one in the frame so you can see how the size. Put them side by side so people can see the different size there. Yeah, it's pretty big.
It dwarfs even Superman.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. That's War Wheel there. But let's get into some of the regular size characters.
We have a few of those.
Yes, we do have a few of those. So Superman and Wonder Woman are co-billing the set. So here is one Wonder Woman we pulled. There's several different iterations of both Wonder Woman and Superman in the set. I wanted to look at these two because they share a trait in common. They both have the odds are against me trait. What that says is, At the end of your turn, if Wonder Woman or Superman was given a non-free action this turn, and an opposing force has more characters on the map than your force, place an outnumbered token on this card. Give Wonder Woman a free action, or Superman, and remove 2 outnumbered tokens from this card to make a close or range combat attack. So essentially what that does is, so this Superman is 150 points, this Wonder Woman is 200 points. They're going to make up a huge portion of your team. So there's a good chance you're going to be outnumbered in terms of just how many figures are on the board. So this lets you make up some extra actions over time by having them get these free attacks in every once in a while. I want to talk about the Superman also has another use for it that Wonder Woman doesn't have, where he can remove 1 outnumbered token from his card, and he can use willpower this turn. So that alone is going to let him act almost every turn as opposed to every other turn. So that's pretty cool. Should throw this card up there right quick. Da-da-da. Freeze frame. There we go. So I wanted to talk about the Wonder Woman a little bit more because we've already seen this monster previewed, the Firstborn. He's from the excellent New 52 Wonder Woman series by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang, where he went and basically destroyed Olympus.
Someone's got some daddy issues.
Little bit. He's a little upset at Zeus. So I'm really excited about this Wonder Woman because you can see by her Mystics team ability there, she's supposed to be the goddess of war Wonder Woman from that run. And she, just like the Firstborn, is 200 points. So she's the Wonder Woman that's meant to go toe-to-toe with this Firstborn here. So in addition to the odds are against me trait that we already described, she also has the divine aura trait that all of the gods from Olympus seem to have in this set, which says she can't be targeted by outwit or probability control from opposing characters unless the targeting character has a higher point value or has the deity keyword. So deity isn't a super popular keyword, though there are quite a few in this set, so you might see that. But then at 200 points, there aren't going to be a whole lot of support outwit characters that can outpoint value her to do that. So that's a lot of outwit protection from her and probability control protection. So she can go punch for punch with the Firstborn. I want to show you her top dial here has impervious, super strength, and 10 movement, 12 attack, 18 defense. And that special power is charge, flurry, and sidestep. So she can get around and do some damage, and she has a really cool special power later on that says at the end of your opponent's turn, deal 1 penetrating damage to each character on that player's force within 2 squares of Wonder Woman that didn't make an attack this turn. That's her new Goddess of War power. So essentially, if you're not attacking her, you're slowly dying off, which is really, really cool because with her Mystic's power, if you hit her, you're taking damage anyway.
Yeah.
So it's forcing you to play in a way you might not want to play as long as you're in her range. So that's really cool. I like this Wonder Woman a lot, both the character and the way they've represented her in Clicks.
Sweet. There is the common Wonder Woman that I did down there, too.
Common Wonder Woman is here, too. She's the Golden Age Wonder Woman. She's been previewed, but she is pretty cool, too, because she's so different from pretty much any other Wonder Woman I've seen because she's this Golden Age Wonder Woman. She's meant to be played with Justice Society instead of Justice League. One of the other cool things they did, if I can find this, we've seen one sculpt. Like I said, they have all these different versions of Superman and Wonder Woman. So we didn't pull it, but there's another version of this Superman that has like the Golden Age shield on his chest.
Cool.
And this one is the same one, except it has the like more well-known Silver Age looking shield. So it's really cool that they're doing those different like through the ages versions of the character. And you can see here that this is kind of the same thing. It's the same sculpt, except this is the Golden Age one and this is the modern
Slight
one.
differences,
Yeah, it's a very cool way of showing how the character has changed through the ages.
And now there's a couple different reporters you said to me earlier.
Yeah, so based on my current profession and the fact that I spent years in J school, I have a soft spot for reporter keyword characters. And they're the kind of characters that, like, there aren't a ton of reporters in comics.
DC kind of has a thing for reporters, though.
There are a few,
with
like,
the TV universe now.
there are a few, but they're really big name. So every once in a while,
That's
you
true.
get this kind of spike of these reporter characters. And so every time there's a Superman set, given his secret identity as a profession, I get really excited. And this set did not disappoint.
Puts on a pair of glasses and nobody knows.
Exactly, yeah. There are so many reporters in this set. There's generics, there's named ones. We've got, there's this 15-point Newsboy Legion. There's a 20-point generic investigative reporter. You've got Lana Langs and Jimmy Olsen, and we didn't pull one, but I know there's a Lois Lane in the set
Olsen.
somewhere. So for perhaps the first time, you can build a really, possibly a really impressive little reporter team here.
Probably get some good news out there.
Yeah, the one I wanted to talk about, of course, is Clark Kent, everybody's favorite. So these reporters have a common theme with their traits. They call
90
it...
words per minute.
No, not that. Close. The world needs to know. So they'll all have the world needs to know, like Clark Kent is the world needs to know your plans. And what they'll do is, like, one of them says, I think it's the Newsboy Legion reduces your speed and range by 1, but it's not a perplex. And then Jimmy Olsen's is something like, if you're within 4 squares, he can target you, and you can't use super senses or shape change, but it's not technically counter or outwit, so it gets around that counter and outwit protection. Clark Kent's is, at the beginning of your turn, you may choose an opposing character within 4 squares in line of fire, and until your next turn, that character can't be given a power action. And that's really powerful. You can slow somebody up really well with that. On top of that, he has probability control on his top click and gets outwit after that. But the coolest thing about him is he has a power called Superman Was Here Where, and it says give Clark Kent a power action and place adjacent a Superman bystander token as described on this card. Immediately give that bystander token an action, then remove it from the game after the action dissolve. That bystander token, I'm going to show it to you right here. Hopefully you can see that. It has a 9 movement with hypersonic speed, an 11 attack with super strength, and 3 damage with close combat expert. And this Clark Kent only costs 55 points. So essentially for 55 points, you're getting this monster of a character. The downside is it doesn't say to give him an action as a free action, so I think it technically takes 2 actions from your actions total to use him, if I'm reading that right. But that is still an insanely, to me, seems like an insanely good ability to just pop this monster character off of this 55-pointer. 55-point who still has all these support powers on his own. So that's really cool. I'm going to be using him a lot, I have a feeling.
Yeah, that.
So, all right. There's one more character I want to talk about because I have a feeling people are going to be talking about him a little bit. Let's move these reporters back to their desk jobs. If you could pass me the silver-ringed Eclipso right there. Yep.
Boom.
So here's Eclipso. He is obviously a villain who has pestered Superman and the Justice League on more than one occasion.
He's not that bad of a guy.
You see all this cool stuff. He's got Quintessence. He's got Mystics and all of that. The thing that are going to make people talk about him is, if you look at this card right here, you can see that his top trait is Black Diamond Possession. Possession is immediately going to throw up some flags for Heroclix fans. He is another 25-point possessor. That whole power there basically just explains how possession works again. One of the interesting things is it says when Eclipso is KO'd, or if you pay 25 points when building your force, equip this character to a friendly character and link it to that character's dial, and then in parentheses and italics explains how all that works. So it sounds like they're trying to make equip a new game term so that they don't have to keep printing this block of text explaining how that works every time they make one of these characters. So that's interesting. But he's 25 points, he has the cosmic and mystical keywords, and he has a whole suite of powers. He's got stealth and running shot and charge and precision strike, penetrating psychic blast. He has a special attack power that says it's called the Ebony Blade of Eclipso. Eclipso can use Blade Claw's Fangs and Steel Energy. If he uses Blade Claw's Fangs and the D6 roll is a 5 or 6, he heals 2 damage when using Steel Energy instead of 1. And then he has Impervious, Invulnerability, Toughness, Shape Change, Outwit, Probability Control, and Battle Fury. All of which, if you equip him to another character, can be used on that character. So here is another really powerful possessor that I'm sure is going to be heavily sought after. He is a super rare, not a chase. The Red Sun characters are the chases. We didn't happen to pull one of those. So he's another one in the super rare slot. I would expect people to be hunting this guy down. He also has a trait that says he can use mind control. When he does and hits only one character, you may replace any of the hit character's combat values with Eclipso's printed combat values until action dissolves. So that's a cool little mind control thing. I expect this guy to be heavily sought after when this set comes out.
And guess who has them?
That's me. That's gotta be.
Awesome. Well, hey, if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comment section or send them to us on Twitter at Comicbook or at Jamie Lovett. Better chance of getting to them there.
Make sure to check the Comicbook.com post. We'll have a gallery of all these figures up there for you to look at.
Each and every one of them. And subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news, interviews, and clips.
Oh, and go to WizKidsEventSystem.com to find one of those pre-releases events happening in your area. That's it.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.